To a traveler, a car is necessary. A mere traveler's guide will not suffice. To a hungry person, food is necessary. A recipe book will not suffice. Knowledge shows us the way. After that, we have to tread the path. Knowledge serves a purpose, but it is not the end. One scholar went to visit a saint. He began conversation around the topic of God. The scholar would ask, and the Mahapurush would explain. The animated discussion continued through the night. In the morning, the scholar said, "This was the best night of my life." We kept on talking about God. The saint said, "This was the worst night. We only talked. We did not contemplate on the Lord." It is all a matter of where we are. For someone, it is gaining of knowledge which is important. But then after that, putting it to practice is most important. A person came to a guru and said, "Gurudev, I can recite the whole Gita in 49 minutes. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanim bhavati bharattanam dharmasya tadatmanam sridapmyam." Gurudev said, "Very good, beta. But can you practice it in your life for 49 minutes? You can recite it in 49 minutes. Can you practice the philosophy for even 49 minutes? That is the real thing. Putting it to practice." So, without putting it in practice, that knowledge is just knowledge. The power of knowledge gets effected when we develop faith in it. As we discussed, faith is the real powerful thing. There was one Acharya who propagated Krishna Bhakti around the world very successfully. He was on his deathbed in his last moment, and his senior sannyasi disciples had surrounded him. And Gurudev is about to depart from the world. What will be his last message? People say a person's last words are very meaningful and valuable. So he realized they are looking for a last message. And he said, "Do you all believe that Krishna is God?" They said, "Oh, what an anticlimax. Are, we are taking Krishna's name, we are heroing the mala, etc., etc. And he is asking, do we believe that Krishna is God?" He said, "Think deeply. To what extent is your heart convinced that Krishna is God?" Somebody believes 50%, somebody believes 80%, somebody's 40%. He said, "I had complete faith that Krishna is God. And so I propagated his glories around the world." If you have that faith, you will also succeed. So that faith is the culmination of knowledge. It's not how much you know, but how much you believe. You know this. But do you believe that God is present in His name? If you do, then the name is enough. Astityevopalabdhasya tattva bhava prasidati astityevopalabdhavyas tattva bhavena chobhayo. The astonishing mantra of the Kathopanishad says the day you believe the definition of God, that very day you will attain Him. Nothing further required. The day you believe the definition of God. Now the definition of God, those who've grown up in the Hindu Dharma, they have all learned to say like a parrot, Bhagavan to ghat ghat vasi hai. God is everywhere, God is inside, God is an ocean of bliss. We all say these things. Bina Bhagavan ki ek patta bhi nahi hilta. But the point is, does our heart believe it? The Kathopanishad is saying, when you believe it, you will attain Him. How will that faith come? It's like, one prophet said that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So one lady said, let me try it out. She went to the Rockies and said, move. And the Rockies did not move. And she said, I knew they would not move. The faith is not there. How will the faith come? It is not so easy. If the faith had come, the surrender would be complete. The faith will come by practically doing the sadhana. Because practical surrender will attract grace. And grace will bestow realization. Soi janai jehi dehu janai, janat tumhi tumhi hai jai. Where do I get faith from? Where do I get faith from? Whatever you know, you put it to practice. That is the secret. And then you will know more and you put that to practice. So the way forward is not from doubt to doubt to doubt to doubt. The way forward is what you know, use it. You know more, use it. You know more, use it. That is why mere knowledge will not suffice. Not to create faith, one person, like Ratnakar only needed Guru's one instruction, sit down and say Mara Mara. That was the level of his surrender. Now, if we had that kind of surrender, we would not need anything further. But we have to live in the reality of our existence. We are not Ratnakar. We need to understand in a variety of ways. We need our intellect to be convinced. And that is why we need the knowledge of the scriptures, the Guru's Upadesh. We have to question, get these doubts resolved. Not just to gather knowledge, but to get a resolute intellect. And then, as we walk the path, we get the experience. I was thirsty for love, for bliss, for illumination. And now a little abhas, a tinge of it is coming in my experience. Now the faith which was just intellectual is becoming on firm footing. So by walking the path, by surrendering, your faith gets stronger. Hence it grows as you move ahead. And then a stage comes Nishtha. Nishtha means staunch decision. That is milestone in the journey, yet not staunch enough. And then you continue the sadhana until it goes to that point where the faith of the saint is unshakable. The whole world tells Prahlad, we'll kill you. What is your God? You know, one communist in Kerala, he stood up in the park. Now, Kerala is famous for communism, which is good. It's a good political theory, except that it denies God. So this communist leader got up and he said, there is no God. If there is a God, I am abusing him. Let him come and silence me in 2 minutes. I am holding up my watch. And in the crowd were people who had faith, but they did not have unshakable faith. They said, he's challenged God, and God is silent. Is there actually any God? Or maybe there is no God. And if there is a God, why is he not silencing this guy? But we don't have the brains to answer his logic. He's got such arguments up his sleeve. There was complete silence. And the moments were ticking by. And there was a saint in the crowd. He stood up. He said, look, God is your father. Now, if the child says, my father does not exist, if he exists, let him come and kill me to prove that he exists. Why will any father do any such thing? Likewise, he is a loving God. You are saying, I am abusing him to prove himself. Let him come and kill me. Why in the world should he do any such thing? So, the point is that the faith of the saints becomes unshakable because it is now experiential. It is based on realizations. And the realizations did not come by intellectual exercise. They came by practical surrender. So Narad says, look, mere knowledge will not suffice. Knowledge is most venerable, most valuable, but then you have to put it to practice.